welcome everyone to this new channel. Bama Mike likes space, because I do. Yes, I do. It's no secret. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for subscribing. If you're here, either that means you care to support me, or you really like the space stuff too, and you're fascinated by it and interested, maybe not quite as much as I am, or maybe even more than I am. Either way, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. From now on, any space videos or space related topics will be uploaded to this channel. So, as you know, if you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell, then basically nothing will change. You'll still get notified when I post these videos, just like you are when I was posting them on the other channel. So everything, nothing will really change for you. But that way, the people who don't care for the space stuff don't have that popping up on their notifications every couple of days. Right now, I'm going to share with you a few things that took place over the last week in NASA. Some big stuff. Of course, you know that SpaceX launched another Starlink mission, their 15th Starlink mission, and their 100th successful mission, which was great. But over the last week, a few other things took place that really doesn't involve SpaceX, but for starters, on the International Space Station, there was a crew of 3, and then just last week, another crew of 3 launched and went up to the space station, including NASA astronaut Kate Rubins. I posted a video about that. That's down below. They came home this last week. They undocked from the International Space Station in their Soyuz spacecraft and slowly backed away, fired their engines, separated the modules, and then they parachuted back down to Earth. Unfortunately, there is video, as you can see, but it's not great video because Russia right now is getting hit hard with the coronavirus. Everything is... The normal people who would be there to film those things could not be there, so the video is not the greatest. You only get to see the spacecraft falling from a long ways away, and but then you get up close when the astronauts start coming out. So that's awesome. NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy was on board, and he did come home. Now, Chris Cassidy is unique in that he is not only a NASA astronaut, but he is also a U.S. Navy SEAL. So he's a badass, pretty much. He's been up there for 6 months, so now he's home. Also this week, some of you may not know, but some of you may actually know already because it was big news. NASA and JPL landed a spacecraft on an asteroid, asteroid Bennu. They landed the spacecraft on the asteroid and took samples of it that they are going to bring back to Earth. The deal is, the asteroid Bennu was formed at the early stages of the universe, the same time the Earth was formed. They want to learn more about where we came from, so they built the spacecraft called Osiris. They called it Osiris Rex, like Tyrannosaurus Rex. They actually launched it a couple years back, and it took a long time to get to the asteroid, and then they spent the last year in an orbit around the asteroid. Just it has some cool technology on board that like scans the ground, and basically they mapped out the entire asteroid. There's some really cool pictures that you can see of it approaching and spinning around. They picked the best spot, and just last week they sent the spacecraft down to the surface. It had this arm on it that touched the surface of the asteroid, and it shot out compressed air that like blew the dust particles and part of the asteroid surface up, and then it had a collection plate on it, and then it collected all these dust particles, and they're going to bring that back to Earth. Immediately following it doing that, it fired its jets and took back off, separated from the surface of the asteroid. It's going to take several years, but that spacecraft is on trajectory to come back to Earth now, and once it gets near Earth, they're going to put it kind of like in a little pod, and they'll eject it at a high rate of speed from the spacecraft and it'll go through Earth's atmosphere. It'll land somewhere here on Earth, and it has like GPS signals, and they'll go collect that data, and then they'll study the remnants, you know, all the pieces of the asteroid that they picked up in that collection plate. They're gonna bring it back and study it to try to help them further understand where we came from, how the Earth was formed. That's huge. That's crazy. Now, at first they were expecting the asteroid surface to be hard and rock, so they were figuring it was going to be hard to get these samples. Well, it turns out that was not the case. It was very dirt-like, and they touched down, and it blew so much up that it overfilled their collection plate. So just a few days after touching down on the asteroid, they were able to maneuver a camera to look at the collection plate itself on the spacecraft, and they were able to tell it's leaking. It's leaking the asteroid debris that it caught. It's venting it out into space. So they are in the process now of, they're not going to do any maneuvers that's going to cause it to come out more. They're going to instruct the spacecraft to take some of the asteroid stuff and like go ahead and move it into the chamber, the final chamber that will be jettisoned to Earth. That way it can't leak out. That way, no matter what happens, they have some rocks from the spacecraft. So huge week for space. There's a lot of cool stuff coming up. Like in just a couple weeks, SpaceX is going to be launching another crewed mission. And it's going to carry 4 astronauts, 3 U.S. astronauts, and 1 European Space Agency astronaut. The cool thing about that is, though, is all 4 of them they're going up to the International Space Station, where U.S. astronaut Kate Rubins is, and then 2 Russian cosmonauts. Well, once SpaceX launches those 3 Americans, they're going to join up with Kate Rubins. There's been 4 Americans on board the International Space Station at once. So that's really cool. Right now it's just a great time to like the space stuff. There's so much going on. New launches like almost every other day. It's great. And man, it's so cool to see this stuff. So once again, thank you all for coming over and subscribing to Bama Mike Likes Space. I really appreciate it. You know, I look forward to keeping the content flowing, and at least now, anyone who does like space, as I said, it shouldn't be any different. You'll still get notified that I posted the videos, and then the people who don't like the space stuff can just follow the other channel, and they won't get clogged up with all the notifications from these launches. So, thank you all. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.